guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Open Mic with Mac. My name is Michaela Patton, and I am the founder of this podcast. I am so excited for you guys to get to know this week's special guest. He is an actor that you may recognize from his work on TV shows such as Shameless, Charmed, and Chicago PD. He's also been in a handful of different feature films, such as Star Trek Into Darkness, Footloose, The Last Full Measure, and most recently, Jumanji. It is with great pleasure that I introduce Cedarius Blain. Hi, how are you?
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Oh, not much. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course, thanks for having me. What's going on, Mac Patton?
Yeah. So for those who may be tuning in for the first time and don't know me, and maybe you're tuning in and don't know you, Cedarius, a little background of us. Cedarius and I went to the same college in New York City. We didn't go at the same time, though. He had graduated before me. And when I was in school, I believe you just booked Footloose and Star Trek. So you were kind of,
Wow, yeah.
yeah, it was a
Been a
while
minute.
ago.
Yeah.
So you were kind of used as like the example of what to strive to be in the industry by like all of the teachers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a shock because it was not that way in school. But yeah, go
No?
ahead.
Oh my gosh.
No way.
So I just have to say, following you all these years, it's been pretty incredible watching you crush all of your goals and accomplish,
Mhm.
stuff that only people could dream of. So,
Yeah. I mean, I'm still striving on a daily basis. I don't think we ever feel like we've gotten, everything that we want or anything like that. But then again, human beings are insatiable, so there's that.
yeah.
Been really grateful though to be able to work a lot since I've been in LA in 2010. I moved here,
Oh, wow.
so it's been cool, a cool decade of constant working in God and just constantly trying to get better. And so you know here I am. I mean, I got a long ways to go. I feel like this is just the tip of the iceberg for me. I'm just getting started, but it's
For
been a really,
sure.
really cool journey so far. It's been a lot of fun, honestly.
Definitely. So now
Yeah.
that you're an LA
Mhm.
based actor, what has been your experience this year in Los Angeles with coronavirus?
I mean, what experience? I mean, I think we're all just couch surfing right now.
Right.
Um, Everything's been at a complete halt, complete standstill. Well, for the first 6 months at least. And so it's definitely gives you newfound respect for being blessed enough to work, when you do. I got really lucky. I actually booked a movie before quarantine started. That was supposed to start back in April after I came off of the pilot that I was working on for Fox. Both of those productions got halted, and luckily enough, we actually started shooting a month ago. The movie is called The Knocking. I actually just made an announcement about it on my Instagram. But
Yes, I saw. Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. So we just wrapped that on Monday on Labor Day. But I got an opportunity to work during quarantine and see what that's like, and it's really bizarre and different and weird.
Yeah, can you tell us a
We
little
had
bit about what it's like?
we had to shoot. Well, our weekends were actually Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Don't ask me why, but it has something to do with COVID
Hmm.
protocol.
Okay.
So we worked Thursday through Monday every week. That was our 5-day work week. We got COVID tested 3 times a week, and we had
Oh,
to
geez.
fill out these COVID questionnaires every single day that we came to work. We get temperature checks. Um, Even when we're riding up to set, we have to, the actors have to ride in separate cars from each other, which makes kind of no
Really?
sense to me because we're in the scenes together, touching each
Yeah.
other too. So
Hmm.
that was interesting. And as soon as you wrap, you gotta put your mask back on. There's a COVID officer there that is like watching your every move. There's a couple of them actually watching your every move. Making sure that you put your masks on and stuff. And the beautiful thing about being in film and TV is that it feels like summer camp to me. I always say, so it's like you get to hang out with your friends and have a good ass time.
I love that.
Um, but the new COVID protocol kind of takes away from that because it becomes not only socially distanced, but it feels a little antisocial, to be perfectly honest, because we're not encouraged to be around each other. So it's really, for me, I just kind of take it as an opportunity to just focus on the work
Hmm.
itself, you know, um, and just, kind of really delve into my script, between takes and focus on that. But again, I'm a pretty social person, so I like hanging outside of my trailer and
Right.
talking to the other actors and stuff. And I'm the guy with the door open and the music blasting all the time, between takes, finding snacks, so it just, and even with that, snacks, like we can't go to craft services and grab your own stuff. You have to go over there and like stand like 10 feet away from craft services, look at
Yeah.
the table, whatever's out there, ask them what they have, and then they have to put it on a separate table for you. Then you can go pick it up off that table and they have to sanitize it. It's just like so
It's
bizarre to me. I'm like, what
wild.
is this?
Yeah, I know in New
Yeah.
York they're trying to cut craft service completely. They're trying to do short enough
Mhm.
days where they don't have to do crafty, and then we would
Mm,
wrap at like lunch. It's really, yeah, it's really bizarre
yeah. Yeah, you
times for
kind of order
food.
your lunch before you start shooting, and then they'll have it packaged for you and given to you later. And actors are encouraged to just eat in their trailers now. So it's definitely going to be an adjustment, but it beats
So
the hell out
different.
of sitting on the couch.
Yeah, right. So,
hmm
can you tell us a little bit about what the knocking is about?
The Knocking, yeah, I can tell you a lot about what it's about. It's about a guy and girl, Cy and Lydia, who, um, well, Cy, falls quickly in love with Lydia, and as soon as he tells her that he loves her, all this weird stuff starts happening in their relationship, and he's got insomnia and he's having visions, he's seeing things, and we come to find out that, well, I'll just say no man can ever fall in love with her, and
Hmm.
all kinds of hellish stuff kind of ensues. The devil gets involved very quickly, and demons and ghosts and monsters, and it's
Dun
really
dun
cool. So it's
dun.
my, yeah, right. It's my first horror movie, so I'm really excited about it. I wanted to hurry up and do a horror movie before I'm like the old fat cop that's like in the dark, like, hello, who's in there?
That's
Before I turn
amazing.
into that guy. So yeah, it's been really cool. They're really rewarding working with Matt Leslie and Steve Smith, and really cool directors that come from the Sundance Writing Program and just kind of know what they want. They're very concise and quick and cool and just really laid back. So I like working with cool people.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see it. It sounds
Me
really
either.
cool.
Let's see.
So, aside
Fingers
from
crossed.
filming The Knocking the last few weeks, how else have you managed to stay creative during this time?
Been writing a lot. Actually, I've been writing like every day, all day almost. Working on two high concept pilots, HBO kind of styled pilots, and I'm working on two indie coming of age dramas, which is probably like my bread and butter. It's one of my favorite concepts to kind of focus on.
Hmm.
So I've been working on that with friends and trying to just come up with opportunities to put ourselves in the best light and position ourselves to be able to kind of write our own checks and create our own stories. I think that's always super important. I do that while I'm working as well, but it's given me an opportunity to like really delve into it and learn proper formatting and everything like that. I mean, all my actors out there, we don't get respected as writers or as producers and stuff like that until you actually do it,
Yes,
because
that is
it's
so
like
true.
it's a very like, hey, shut up and act kind of thing.
Hmm.
And so I'm kind of trying to change that narrative from my own perspective, especially being 6'5" and black. It's very, very different. They don't think that I know anything or can write anything. And oftentimes when they do read something that written, they're like, "Who helped you with this?" I'm like,
Like,
"Me."
it's
What do you
me.
mean? Yeah.
Well, good for
So
you.
change that narrative. But yeah,
That's
definitely.
awesome.
hmm
So you've been really open about being a parent to your son who is quite young. For
hmm
maybe parents that are tuning in, what has it been like having a young child during coronavirus, and how have you found like you time while also trying to stay creative? What has been your experience?
Um. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna have to open this window and jump out of it in a second. No, it's been great. First of all, it was great the first 2 months, especially getting this, just spend so much time with my son because I've worked on series for like the last 2 years, so I've been away from him about 9 months a year. So it's been really hard.
Oh wow.
So it's been really cool being able to just like completely be there with him at all times. Um, at the same time, it's hard to explain to a now 6 year old. He was 5 when this started, when coronavirus started, to explain to a 6 year old why he can't go see his friends or why he can't go to school or why we can't go to Disney, once a month, like we normally do, or why we can't do all these things. So honestly, having a kid helps you realize how patient you need to be yourself, and how confusing all of this really is. To be honest with you, I think it's confusing for all of us. Trying to explain this to a 35-year-old is just as hard as trying to explain to a 6-year-old, to be honest with
Yeah,
you. But
definitely.
we've been doing the remote learning thing, which is a whole nother set of issues. And I'm so grateful that, I don't have a quote unquote 9 to 5, because I don't know how or where I would have the time to do that
Yeah,
with him. So all of this has been really interesting, but we're getting through it, and we've found new ways to have fun, and we're doing a lot of hiking and beach days, and just staying occupied in that way, and just trying to enjoy what's at our disposal.
that's
What we are
great.
allowed to do. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it has been, I mean, obviously a very difficult time, but also we're in the age of like technology, and I feel like kids are so hooked on their iPads and their video games and stuff. It has been a time to allow them to maybe play in the backyard or ride their bike or go hiking or to the beach. So it has kind of been
hmm
good for young kids as well.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize he didn't know how to play hide and seek. I was like, wait,
Oh
what?
my
What do
God.
you mean? And it just completely slipped my mind. I was like, these are such
Wow.
normal things when I was growing up.
Yeah.
But he and his friends, learning how to play hide and seek and stuff, and
How
yeah,
funny.
just kind of taking it back to the basics, back to the
Yeah,
old school.
for sure.
Mhm.
So, how have you managed to stay positive? For those who follow you, I know I do, obviously, you are a very positive person in a
Am
difficult,
I?
for what you post, from what I see, you are very positive. You
I'm
post a lot of
kidding. I'm
funny
kidding.
stuff too, a lot of funny
Yeah.
memes.
Uh
How have you
huh.
managed to stay positive in a hard year like this?
I've managed to stay positive. I think collectively, this has been the worst thing that's ever happened to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I've always been, I've always shied away from being a leader, but I've always been a leader since I was a kid. And I think that, again, leaders have to lead from the front, right? So, with that being said, if I know that there are people that need uplifting in the moment, a lot of times I'll post something that is uplifting, and it's not necessarily just for them. I'm speaking to myself as well, because I go through my own ups and downs almost on a daily basis. We've experienced like such a whirlwind of emotions during this entire process, and
Mhm.
every day I think we're all saying like WTF, like I can't believe it.
It's a
Every
new
day I'm
thing
like, I
every
can't
day.
believe this. I literally said, I can't believe this. What? So most of the time when I'm posting stuff, it's to try to encourage myself, and I'm just letting people in on what my self encouragement looks like. I also have a responsibility socially to the people around me to help keep them uplifted as well, to an extent. So I'm always cognizant of that. Um, People are they're looking for a glimmering hope, light at the end of the tunnel, and if there's anything I do know, again, like I said, this is the worst thing that's happened to a lot of people. I've honestly, not to minimize it, but I've been through worse, and
Yeah.
so I know that there's something good at the end of this. I know that we can find something positive at the end of this, and even during it. So I just try to keep that in mind on a daily basis. I do a lot of creative visualization, and I imagine myself on a set, and I imagine myself at a concert having a good ass time. I imagine myself on a dope vacation somewhere where everything's normal again. And I think that's kind of kept me moving forward.
I have never done that before. I'm gonna have to try that.
Try it.
Yeah,
Try it,
it's
especially
a
when
good
you
little
wake
trick.
up and you can't sleep, or you wake up way too early, stuff like that. Try to
I like
meditate and
that.
focus on that.
Nice.
Hmm.
So, for any fellow creatives that are tuning in, knowing what you know now about this year, do you have any maybe words of encouragement or any advice for them to finish this year strong?
Man, yeah. Well, I mean, you're already crazy as hell for trying this whole business, so why not see it through? I think, like I just said, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Imagine yourself accomplishing your dreams, whether it be becoming a series regular, booking your first guest star, or, booking your first part in the movie or whatever it is. Try to envision yourself doing that on a daily basis, and know that whatever it is that you want, that is in your gut, God wouldn't put it there without it being possible. So there's a reason, that you want what you want, and keep in mind that it is definitely possible, but always put work with that, with that faith.
Yeah, manifesting. That's a good
Yes,
word.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Manifestation. There you go. Mhm.
So, where can we support you? Where can we stream your work or watch your shows and movies?
I mean, I'm on Instagram all the time, saying crazy stuff and keeping people updated about what's going on. So definitely jump on there. Jumanji's on digital and Blu-ray and everything else right now. The Last Full Measure as well, where I play young Sam Jackson. That is also on demand and streaming everywhere, along with the rest of my projects. So just go ahead and check those things out. Keep up with me on Instagram at Sedarius Blain, Facebook, Twitter, same thing everywhere. And shout me out, say that you found me here, and I'll shout you back. That's it.
Awesome.
Mhm.
So moving forward, the charity of the week that Sidarius chose is Casa of Los Angeles. So they are
Mhm.
a nonprofit organization, and their mission is to mobilize a community of different volunteers and advocates for children that have experienced abuse and neglect. So I'm going to
Yeah.
pass the mic to you to elaborate a little bit more about what this foundation is doing and why you chose it and why it means so much to you.
Definitely go to the CASA website, casala.org, I believe.
Yes.
And
Did I right?
there are a lot of kids in Los Angeles that are homeless, the most actually in our country. There are a lot of children in the foster care system throughout the world, but LA, of course, primarily. And they don't have anyone to even go to court with them during their arraignments or during mediations and all kinds of stuff like that. So they just need support system. It's almost like a big brother, big sister kind of program. We're pouring into the kids and trying to make sure that they know that they're supported and somebody cares. If I had it my way, I would find a way to adopt all of them. A lot of them come from abusive situations and neglect and truancy issues, haven't been to school, missing 90 days of school and stuff like that. And so we focus on trying to make sure that they feel supported at every turn, and that they have someone to stand in on their behalf. When they go to court and they're getting moved to another foster home, or they're getting moved out of their current home, or trying to help them find a new guardian, etc. So it doesn't take a lot of time. If you don't have the time, you can make donations, and try to support any way you possibly can. We Our children are literally tomorrow. They're our future. So I think it's really important. My mom was adopted as well, and so causes like this really hit close to home for me.
Mm,
Without her, I would not be here, and I would
yeah.
not be able to be doing the things that I'm doing. I love my life, and I want these kids to have an opportunity to find a life that they love as well.
That's amazing. So if you guys want to click the link in my bio, it'll bring you to Casa LA's page. While I was, doing my research, I also saw they're not just doing advocates for court appearances and whatnot. They do mental health advocates if you want to volunteer for that. They have educational advocates for kids, like Sedaria said, that are missing 90 days of school. So there are a bunch of different ways to volunteer and different kind of niches that fit everyone's um, needs. And I think that's really important, mental health, education, going to court and figuring out the foster care system, which is such a hard system to navigate.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, what misconceptions would you say that there are about the foster care system, especially in Los Angeles, I guess?
Misconceptions about the foster care system. I think the main one would be that they're all like problem children or
Right.
something like that. A lot of them have come from abused situations and stuff, and still end up being some of the sweetest, smartest, nicest kids that you'll ever meet. So they're kind of treated like social pariahs almost, and they have some of the most difficulty getting adopted because of that. Basically, if a kid is not a year or two old, under 2 years old, they have a really hard time being adopted. Don't quote me on the age, but basically, if they're not toddlers, it's very hard for them to get adopted. But I mean, these kids feel kind of thrown away,
Right.
and so again, big misconception is that they're poorly behaved, and it's not true.
Not true at
They're
all.
they're really nice kids. I actually play basketball with them on Saturdays, and
That's
we
amazing.
we sit and talk to them, and you never know that the nicest kid that you're sitting there talking to, has a you know father who just killed his mother, and
Oh,
it's nuts. It's nuts, but they're actually surprisingly you know, despite what they've gone through, such good kids. You know?
Yeah. And I also read
Mm.
on the website too that ages 0 to 5 years old are the most common ages for abuse and neglect, which was so crazy to me to read because these are babies. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
so wrong and it's sad. It's heartbreaking.
yeah.
So
It's
you
it's cyclical as well, though. You know, they're coming from homes with parents who were also abused and stuff like that. I would
yeah,
love to see,
it's a cycle.
you know, the cycle end and they get family counseling and get an opportunity to try to repair some of these families and, you know, fix what's the root of the problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I also saw on the website, hopefully coronavirus will be gone by 2021 or we'll have a vaccine,
Hmm.
but there are some really exciting events that they are holding in 2021 in the spring.
Hmm.
So again, if you guys want to click the link in my bio and learn all about it, they have like 3 different events that I read about, which are so awesome. And you don't have to be from Los Angeles to get involved. If you know you are from Los Angeles, even better. But if you're not and you're from out of town, you can still learn about it, get involved, donate. It's
Hmm.
always good to educate yourself. So
Yeah.
is
Yeah, buddy.
is there anything else that you would like the viewers to know about this charity or about yourself that we haven't already touched on?
I think that we got the charity part definitely, you know, covered. Definitely just go check out the website so you can get better, clearer, more direct information than all the stuff that I'm spewing out. But as far as me, I don't know. I'm an endless well of weirdness. So follow me and,
Endless
and
well of weirdness. That's a good one. We
oh,
might quote
that's
that at
funny.
the bottom of this.
There you go. I'm an endless well of weirdness. Yeah, put that. I'm gonna
Quote of the
copyright
day.
that. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with me. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, kid. Keep doing your
Yeah.
thing. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. Congrats on all your success. And you guys
Thank
keep a
you.
lookout for The Knocking coming soon.
Oh yeah. And the big leap coming in the spring, baby, on
Woohoo!
Fox.
On
All right.
Fox. Great.
Yeah, man.
All right. You take care, stay safe and healthy, and I will talk to you soon.
All right, you too. Thanks.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Sedarius Blain, and you are watching Open Mic with Mac.